Welcome back, folks. Today we're taking you on a wild ride through the weird and wonderful world of China's unique quirks and hilarious habits. You know how every country has its own distinct flavor, right? Well, let us tell you, China's got some serious spicy stuff going on. Prepare to have your mind blown as we reveal the strange and mind-boggling things that you can only find in China. We're talking geese strutting their stuff as police officers, people getting publicly shamed for wearing pajamas, and so much more. So kick back, grab some snacks and get ready to explore some of the craziest and most entertaining aspects of Chinese culture. We guarantee you'll come away with a newfound appreciation for this incredible country and all its quirks. Let's get started, shall we? Mink farms in China. You may be surprised to know that mink farms aren't just a thing in China, they exist in many countries around the world. I mean, personally, the idea of farming animals just for their fur kinda gives me the creeps, like when I used to watch Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians as a kid. But unfortunately, it's a real thing. Minks are part of the weasel family and have been farmed for their fur in many countries including Europe, the United States, and yes, even China. During the pandemic, you know that thing you're not mentioning by name, a mutated strain of the virus was found in minks on fur farms in Europe, which led to a lot of them being culled. Denmark even got rid of all their minks, but China didn't react in the same way, so some people are pointing fingers at them as the source of the problem. Anyway, it's not just China that farms minks for all their fur, so let's not kid ourselves. Oh, and before we move on, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Babies with split pants. Did you know that in China, toddlers wear these pants called gaidangku that have splits in them? I mean, I know it sounds kinda weird, but hear me out. The splits are there so their little bottoms can poke out, and it's actually a traditional way of toilet training young children in China. They're able to do their business without all the fuss and bother of clothing and diapers, which I think is pretty cool. Plus, it's way less wasteful than using millions of diapers every year. I mean, did you know that in the United States alone over 3.5 million tons of diaper waste are produced every year? That's crazy. So yeah, while it may seem a little strange to the rest of us, maybe there's something to this whole split pants thing after all. Squat toilets. Okay, let's talk about something different in China, the toilets. In China you can find two kinds of toilets, the sit-down kind that we're used to in the West, and the squat kind, which is just a hole in the ground with footrests on either side. Surprisingly, the squat toilet is considered more hygienic because you don't have to touch anything. But let's be real, squatting and clothing can make it a bit challenging, so just a different type of toilet, not a big deal. The Dragon Escalator. Before I get into this one, I have some bad news. The Dragon Escalator has been closed permanently, so you can't ride it anymore. Anyway, it used to be located at the Longjing Gorge, just north of Beijing, where one of China's largest dams is located. For some reason, someone thought it would be a great idea to build a massive, bright yellow and green dragon-shaped escalator that transported people up 850 feet of the gorge. They even offered boat trips and bungee jumping off the dam, trying to make it a thrilling day out. But now it's no longer available for such excitement, and we'll have to find other ways to entertain ourselves. The kissing dinosaurs. In the small town of Erlion, which is one of the most remote regions of China near the border of Mongolia, there are two huge dinosaur statues that guard the entrance to the town. They're considered to be the largest dinosaurs in the world and are engaged in a tongue-based snog. The reason for this odd display? Well, the region is famous for its dinosaur fossils and the local towns are trying to promote tourism in the area. The kissing dinosaurs are just one of the attempts to draw visitors to the region. But unfortunately it remains largely unvisited, empty and bleak despite all the efforts. Canned air. People really will buy anything now, won't they? An Australian company is collecting air from different locations across Australia and packaging it up to sell to people in places that have poor air quality, mostly in China. Each can is claimed to offer a unique scent, but it's probably just the smell of money to the Australian business people. Each can holds up to 130 to 140 deep breaths of air, and it's a strange idea to sell air when there's no shortage of it. It's unclear where the cans are manufactured. Largest ghost city. China has several gigantic ghost cities such as Ordos Kangbashi that were built for expansion but have failed to attract people to live and work there. They struggle to become real places for real people to live and are just sitting there waiting for inhabitants. These cities were constructed during the boom of capitalist expansion driven by profit, but they seem to miss the point of a place. The buildings gradually disintegrate and collapse, providing work for a security guard, but not much else. Police geese. In China, geese are so well behaved that the police are using them for sentry duty. Geese are known for being extremely vigilant and having excellent hearing, which makes them good for guarding stuff.
The geese alert the police officers.
It's unclear why the police are replacing guard dogs with geese, but geese are less expensive than German shepherds. Tianmen Skywalk. Tianmen Mountain in China's Hunan province has a glass bridge that is popular among thrill seekers. There are estimated to be around 2,300 glass bridges in China with glass panels for walkways and sides. It's a strange idea to have so many glass bridges, but the booming tourist industry in China seems to believe that people want to experience this kind of thrill. The abandoned Green Village. Have you heard of the Green Village in China? It's located on Shing Island in an eastern province, and it's a true ghost town. Unlike the monster-sized ghost cities, this village is actually dying of old age. It used to be home to over 2,000 fishermen and their families with 500 houses and a thriving fishing culture. But nowadays it's almost completely deserted and the houses are being reclaimed by the natural surroundings. Foreign residents began leaving in droves back in the 1990s because life here was simple but tough and the standards of education were poor. Even the food delivery to the island was unreliable, so people went in search of a better life. By 1994, almost everyone had left. Now the homes and buildings on the island are slowly disappearing below a growing carpet of lush greenery. It certainly does make a rather interesting picture thanks to drone footage. The Red Wetlands. Ever heard of Red Beach in China? Well, it's somewhat misleading because it's not really a beach with sand. It's actually a massive wetland in Liaoning province, about 6 hours away from Beijing. It's the largest wetland in the world and it turns red every autumn. The red effect is caused by a specific species of seaweed that grows there, and it turns from green to red as it absorbs the high levels of saline from the water. Naturally, tourists flock to this place to take pictures for their Instagram accounts, and who can blame them? The sea of red is quite irresistible. Plus, there are loads of different birds to be seen, over 260 species to be precise. So if you want to see the crimson spectacle with your own eyeballs, it's best to visit in October. Otherwise, you might just see it in its underdone and green state. Harbin Ice and Snow Festival. Harbin, a city in the north of China, has a unique way of embracing its chilly weather. Every year in January, the city holds the Harbin International Ice and Snow Sculpture Festival. The festival is a massive exhibition of ice sculptures and intricate architectural features, all constructed from huge blocks of ice. The sculptures such as ice palaces, temples and towers are enormous and illuminated with colored lights. People from all over the world come to see these creations and take fun photos. However, visitors should wear their thermals since it's not one for the easily chilled or anyone who might feel unnerved in a sea of snowmen. 798 Art Zone. Beijing has a thriving artistic community located in a decommissioned military factory building known as the 798 Art Zone. The zone has become a trendy attraction and has been gentrified with almost 200 high-end art galleries, studios, cafes, restaurants and boutiques. Although it sounds like any other art district in the world, it is located in China, making it unique. The Stone Forest. The Shilin Stone Forest is a unique rock formation located in the Yunnan province of South China. These rocks, known as karst formations, are believed by some to have been shaped over 270 million years as a result of seismic activity and natural erosion of wind and water in the limestone. The landscape consists of pillars and rocks that create a dark, winding space below. Smaller forests within the stone forest have waterfalls, caves, lakes, and even an underground river. The place is significant enough to be acknowledged as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with legends and folklore surrounding it. Fake Apple Store. In Kunming, the capital of China's Yunnan province, where there are no official Apple stores, a fake version of the tech giant's retail store appeared in 2011. The store was a precise copy of the decor and products, but everything was fake. Even the staff was fooled. Apple declined to comment on the matter, and while fake stores may not be a massive problem, Apple might deal with it using lawyers. Lots and lots of lawyers. the high-fashion pajamas. You may have heard of China's long-time love affair with their comfortable pajamas. It's a passion so strong that you can often see the Chinese wearing their beloved printed cotton sets to the grocery store, walking the dog, or riding a bike. As a country with a massive population, there seems to be no social code of dress among citizens. It's not unusual to see a high-heeled fashionista walking next to a MIP, or man in pajamas, as the blog Mad About Shanghai describes them. The practice is so popular in Shanghai that in 2010, in the run-up to the World Expo, the local government, eager to present a civilized front, launched a campaign urging residents to stop stepping out in nightwear. The stripy, colourful village. Have you ever seen a village with bright red and maroon-coloured soil? Well, there's a small village in southern China that has just that. The oxidized iron in the soil gives it a vibrant colour, and the way the land is divided into strips that curve around the hills adds to the overall rainbow effect. The white flowers, green crops and red earth create a stunning rural farmland that's definitely worth a visit. Three Gorges Dam. The Yellow River in China is famous for its massive floods and is known as the River of Sorrow and Scourge of the Sons of Han. Despite its reputation, some people decided to build the Three Gorges Dam, which is the world's largest power station. The dam generates a lot of electricity, but it has also caused huge ecological changes that have resulted in a massive increase in landslides and flooding. There's even evidence that holding this much water in a new place could physically change the shape of the planet. Heaven's Gate Mountain. If you're afraid of heights, you might want to avoid Tianmen Mountain Park in China. To scale Heaven's Gate Mountain, visitors have to take the terrifying and extremely long road called Tianmen Shan Big Gate Road or Tianmen Winding Mountain Road. The road travels up the side of the mountain, which is almost 4,500 feet above sea level and has no less than 99 turns. And if that wasn't enough, those who make it up the road are then given a generous gift of 999 steps to climb in order to reach the top. Tai Chi in a park. In China, it's common to see lots of people, usually the older members of society, gathering in parks to do Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a soft martial art that takes inspiration from the natural movements of animals and birds. The idea behind it is that it aims to improve the circulation of one's qi, which is the energy within the body and the way it flows. It's also good for focusing the mind and for meditation. So if you visit Beijing or any other large city in China, you'll likely see groups of old people all bending and stretching together in the park. It looks kind of fun, but it also has a slight whiff of a totalitarian regime. Snake Factory. China has long been known for its manufacturing prowess, producing everything from electronics to clothing to toys. However, there is one type of factory that you may never have heard of, the Snake Factory. Yes, you heard that right. In China, there are factories dedicated to breeding and raising snakes for a variety of purposes. These facilities are often located in rural areas where land is cheaper and more abundant, and they can be quite large, housing thousands of snakes at a time. The snakes produced in these factories are used for a variety of purposes. Some are sold to zoos and pet stores around the world where they are kept as exotic pets. Despite their somewhat unusual nature, snake factories are big business in China. In fact, the country is the largest producer of snakes in the world, accounting for around 70% of the global supply. So how do these factories operate? Well, it all starts with the breeding process. Snakes are kept in large, temperature-controlled rooms where they are carefully monitored and cared for. Once they reach maturity, they are bred with other snakes to produce offspring. The baby snakes are then raised until they are old enough to be sold. Some are kept as breeding stock, while others are sold to customers around the world. The idea of a snake factory may seem strange to some. It's just another example of China's ability to produce goods efficiently and at scale. And for those who are interested in snakes, these facilities offer a unique opportunity to learn more about these fascinating creatures and the industry that surrounds them. We hope you enjoyed learning about these topics and perhaps even gained a new appreciation for the rich culture and history of China. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments, and be sure to check out our other videos for more exciting content. Until next time, take care and keep exploring.